it sort of ties into what I was going to say with the hookup culture that's happening now, especially, you know, I mean, when I got out of my last relationship, I was 27, but I got in when I was 22. So I missed a whole sort of, that really, what do you call that era? The 20s.
Oh yeah, the wild times.
The wild times,
where
right?
you explore and you be a bit naughty.
Right. So
that development time.
Exactly.
I missed that actually when I was younger too.
Yeah. Or what people call the hoe phase or whatever it is that people do. I'm just like, okay, you do that. But I got out and then COVID hit. Right. So then there was no sort of experimental things until the bans started getting lifted and I got on online dating. And then that's when I was in the jungle. It's like a little cub, like, everyone has the best intentions and I'm a good person and they should be a good person too.
That's right.
And because that's just how I saw dating when I was 22. So I hadn't really matured that way dating wise. So coming into that, it's just savage. There's ghosting, and even just, the current dating world, there's either, if you don't give someone the right attention at the right amount of time, they'll just find someone else. And then because there's this false sense of, how do you say it? Like there's an illusion in the options you actually have. Right. So the apps
that there might be something better around the corner.
Yeah. That whole maximizing effect of, and then, so I haven't been on the apps for a while. I realized every time I leave there, my mental health diminishes. So I'm like, I don't think I'll go to the same shop that sells me rotten bananas every time. I think I'll maybe go to a different shop. But anyways, they've created these apps like the slot machines, right? So they know how to give that dopamine.
With colours and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the notifications.
Yes, 100%.
It's like, oh, you got someone who likes you, or someone just super swiped you, or extend the match. Oh, no. And it's just, it feels like I'm at Crown sometimes. But then, they might say, and I'm not trying to blow steam up my ass or anything. I'm sure most,
You sure?
But I'm sure most women, because they said that 60, like they did a Tinder study, and they said 65 of the people on those apps are men, right? So these women will get an overwhelming response compared to the men who might get maybe one or two sort of matches. So you're looking and they're like, oh, you've got 500 people nearby who really want to get to know you. And I just came from the gym and I swear to God, there was no one, right? Like they give you that. So then let's say you go and meet someone in real life, or you might connect with someone. You're like, no, but I got a hotter guy there and I got another hotter guy there. And then even just taking a deeper dive into it, we're only measuring them off physical aspects, right? How does a man who is 6 foot, how can he show that he has a growth mindset? How can he show that he's kind and he's amazing?
That's right. His character.
Yeah.
That's right.
Great smile. Okay. You got a six pack and you have a great tan. That's great. We're matched. Maybe that kind of boosted up my self-esteem a little bit. But then that's it. There's no sort of knowing if it will go anywhere. And most of the time it doesn't, because the moment that they get the smallest thing wrong, or like you feel like they're kind of iffy about one thing, sorry, bye. I got 1,000 other men waiting, which they're not, but you know what I mean? Like that's the mindset that we have now, that we can't commit. We just we want the best and the best and the best.
Yeah, this instant satisfaction, or instant gratification and high expectations. And so how I see it is that my suggestion is, the way to meet people is to find activities, like if you want to go salsa dancing, or go and do the activities that you love doing. And activities, that's where you're more likely to meet somebody.
Do you like online dating? Would you recommend it?
I think it's an extra tool.
Like a supplement.
A supplement. Right. However, but the main thing is to make yourself happy and go to the places and the interests. And if you like the football, go to the football, go to a football club and help there or whatever.
Live your life.
and get to know someone in the real world.
Yeah.
And see them for who they are in their environment rather than the online dating.
Yeah, which is...
And also you think about it even in supermarkets or anything. You just need to say, you know, like you can compliment a guy, you know, in the supermarket, say, oh, I really like your tie or whatever. I mean, just practice being open to people. You know, and people pick up that you're open or
smile.
You know, like I'll often say, not because I'm interested in the guy necessarily, but it's like, you know, I love your car, you know, great car. I love those cars or whatever. There are ways you can open up a conversation. And again, like if you've got something wrong with your car, you know, like ask a guy to help you at the service station. Pick the one that you fix. Right, there's a million ways.
Yeah.
You just got to think outside of the box.
Yeah.
And be confident, because when you shine, people come to you.
And like attracts like, so you want to attract that energy anyways. If you're closed off, then you won't.
Absolutely.
Right. But then you see...
And also, the problem is women have given away their power by going to bed with men straight away. So men, you know, have got this endless supply of women that give in to them, really. They don't have to work hard to get a woman. Even if they want a girlfriend, like they don't have to work hard. So what's happening is dating is backwards now. I love that saying, dating's backwards. Like the sex is like, let's go home to your place. Like there's no courtship and time. Like there have been some studies done that if you date a man for about 2 months, you can show, you know, touch him and show interest in him and get close to him, all that. But you don't go to bed with him, you don't go home with him, you know, where people get into trouble, go to their place or whatever. But it's like you'll find out if he's interested in you as a human being or he's just there for your body.
But you see, I feel like also women are so scared of rejection that they feel like they place their sexual value as to their actual internal value.
100%.
And they 100%. Say, I don't want to lose him. He's really hot. I feel like I know he has options. So how can I get him to stay? I'll just spread my legs and I'll let him. And I'm like, that's the complete opposite of what you should be doing, right? Because he has like he'll just, and also guys have that. I don't know. When I speak to the guys in my life, they're like, yeah, we have like a sleep with or marry.
Yeah.
There's no in between, like I'll start sleeping with her and then I'll think, no, there's two different categories of girls. So, and you could be a really good wife material. You could be amazing, but if he puts you in there and you kind of decide to be sexually vulnerable too quickly, a lot of guys just like, nope, sorry. How many guys?
They've got nothing to, they've got the icing on the cake, you know, straight away. I mean, why would you give the goodies so quickly? But also the other thing that does for women, it sets, and people could say, well, women have got needs too. They've got sexual needs. True. This is not right or wrong. This is what works and what doesn't work. Because what happens is we've only got so many hearts that can be broken.
Yeah.
And we've got to protect our soul, protect ourselves through the choices we make and everything. The problem is people are not protecting their soul and their heart and going ad hoc into things. And like if you go to bed with a man straight away, he might be cool. You might feel this connection. You don't even know him. He might be married. He could be seeing 5 other women. He could be not at all interested in a relationship. He might be just out of a relationship and he's in pain and he just wants to get rid of his pain by somebody showing interest in him. So you haven't even got a foundation of trust, or you've got no knowledge about this man. So you're setting yourself up for a crash. Like occasionally some people can sleep together early on and it can go through to marriage and it can work. But the odds are against it.
Oh, and also it's like the likeliness of maybe even achieving a climax is like 0 to none on a one night stand.
That's right.
Because he doesn't know, he doesn't care. Guys always win. They'll always, bust a nut or whatever it is that, guys say, but they'll always achieve that. But for a woman to even have it, so let's say they're even going just for pleasure. They're saying women have needs, but your needs are not being met.
No, they're not. They're not. And also, I know this is controversial, but women are different to men.
They
right? Our brain, we are totally different. Men's brains, it's easier for them to sleep with different women and not be so emotionally affected. But for women, our brain, everything is connected emotionally. And, we, in our DNA, our body is always searching, our evolutionary DNA, our body is always searching for the man who is going to be the best mate for our offspring. So that's why for women, if we usually have sex with a man, we want him to come back. Because our body, it's our natural instinct, and it's not as easy for women to sleep with a lot of different men. They can do it if they're drunk or on drugs or whatever, because you've got to shut down your heart.
Which is dangerous.
Which is very dangerous. And the other thing that happens is more chance of STIs, chlamydia, which can make you infertile, having abortions. Like you can be an emotional wreck from all this stuff. There's more chance of being, if you go with a guy to his house and you don't even know him, of him treating, sexually assaulting you or being rough with you or whatever, and you've got to carry that damage, and then that gets taken into the next relationship and the next. So if you keep doing that, the goods become more and more damaged, and it makes it harder when then you meet a nice guy that could be a potential. You're a wreck, and you emotionally. And also your body, if you've slept with a lot of different people, your body is confused, because the body on an evolutionary DNA is saying, so you might choose a guy, think, this guy I'd like to stay with him long term or whatever. But the body's wants to reject him, because it's like, I don't know who you want. I'm confused.
And also because it's also survival instinct. So it's like, we don't know who's who, so just reject them all.
Yeah. And the body it's like the body is, and so then that makes the woman, I'm not sure if he's the one, and then she might shut down sexually or whatever. And I can see now why all cultures and religions have had boundaries around sexuality. Now, I'm not one to say no sex before marriage. I'm not that. But I do believe in no sex before exclusivity and commitment. A commitment which is a possibility, a commitment to the possibility of exploring our compatibility for longer term.
Which is what a relationship is as well, right? Do you feel like a relationship is just still sussing? Well, not sussing, but it's just exploring your compatibility, but exclusively.
Yes, and it might be the possibility, the commitment, and the possibility of exploring to see whether we're compatible long term, because you've got to both be wanting to go in the same direction, obviously. and that we review it after 6 months or whatever, or for you to be authentic enough to me and honest enough to me if you feel this isn't working, that we move on. But it has to come from an authentic place that we're both looking for a long-term committed relationship. We're looking for something we can build a life together, or whatever your vision is.
Yeah, because it's actually, there's this, I think most of the things that I'm saying as articles, I'll just put them on the screen so then people can actually find it. I don't want people to think I'm talking out of my ass or making up.
Yeah.
But they were saying also with like one night stands, the more you do it, it rewires your brain into only wanting the short term things. So your actual ability to gain, so let's say you do that. Let's say for all through your 20s, you're just doing one night stands. So your brain actually reverses its ability to make meaningful connections. So by the time you're ready to actually have a permanent or a more permanent situation, you wouldn't know how to.
That's right. Like, correct.
I don't even know what this, and that's why there's also a rise in commitment phobia. People are like, I don't know what this looks like. And every guy that I've been intimate with has always left every time. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not the reason. And not all men are trash. I think it's also the men that you're picking, you know.
Well, I think it's time. It's really time for women to step into their sacred, empowered feminine. And men will step up. They will be your hero. They will come to the party, you know. Because I see men in my practice where they feel like they have to have sex with the woman straight away sometimes too. You know, they've got this thing, this pressure. I went out with this woman and she wanted to jump into bed straight away and I didn't really want to, but I felt like I should. And I had anxiety because I thought, God, I've got to perform. You know, it's going both ways. And I'm saying this to the men as well, you know, like be this man that says, look, I'm really attracted to you, but I really want to get to know you as a person first and as a friend, and let's take it slow and enjoy our sexual tension, and so we can get to know each other's humanity first rather than our sexuality. It's like
you're preaching to the choir, but the choir is quite small these days. I think a lot of people are very caught up in a certain way, and I love that we're talking about this because we're kind of giving people a reality check as to this. It's all fun and games until it's not.